also have to get good at learning to deal with assholes because that happens a lot, especially sound guys. Sound guys is like, yeah.
What kind of
That's
asshole?
a whole headache.
I'll let you talk about that because
Brady, I thought you were gonna try to.
Well, I'm not gonna name a particular. As much as I want to, because I swear I've never been closer to physically committing an act of violence against somebody.
Holy shit!
I will not mention the place or the person because it will probably not reflect well on the band. But I had to deal with somebody that asked me who I was twice as I was setting the things on the stage to play them.
Okay.
Then he asked me if I was a part of the band that was playing on the stage that I was currently setting up. And then, like, I tried to give him just a XLR signal directly from our modeler to his front of house to make it as easy as possible for him. And he refused 3 times, decided to mic my cabinet. It sounded like shit. I was getting fucking decapitated with feedback because of the way that he put the mic because he didn't actually set it on the cone.
Was that when the monitor was like delayed?
Yeah, the monitor was delayed. So like what I was hearing from my cab on stage and the monitor was like there was like a half-second feedback.
Oh, that's fucked. So this guy was just dog shit at his job completely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I played the entire show like this. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
I'll say what show it was. It was Jacksonville. It was Jacksonville. That's all I'll say. But it was literally, it was one of the worst experiences on stage I've ever had, which sucks because it's like I see the fans out there and I know they're having fun. As far as I heard, they said it sounded good and they said I didn't fuck anything up, which was good. But whenever I was up there, you know, like a lot of times when you're playing, you just want to lose yourself and you can kind of get in a headspace where you're not thinking about a whole lot and it's just fun and the adrenaline's going. But when you have like people like that are doing that kind of stuff or that they don't care enough to do their job correctly, it really takes you out of that moment and it makes you worry about shit. Like you start overthinking what you're playing or like, oh shit, like I hope this doesn't make a loud noise whenever I turn this on because he fucking made this 1,000,000 decibels louder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's when you actually fuck up. You shouldn't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly.
fuck up when you don't think about it.
Yeah,
So.
when I'm playing leads live and like and we sound check, dude, that's the thing about it too. Like I freak out before we play any show that we don't even get a line check. Like a lot of times we'll go to the shows and put our gear on stage and then just get off. And they don't even give us a line check to see if our shit it works when it's plugged in. We have to do it when we get on stage, and it's time taken out of our set list because we're an opening act. Yeah, that's how it usually works. So like it's a fucking it's a constant rush of information going all at once, and you have to try and figure out like, okay, all right, now everything's plugged in correctly. Okay, like can we just play a few times and then like we hear the guitar, we hear the bass, get a rough fucking mix down and then just run.
Yeah.
And it's so
part
like
of the learning process.
Yeah, it's hard to there's no consistency. It's really hard to depend on, you know. That's why a lot of guys they like to do like Bro Job's super smart for this because they have their own rig that not only do they have it automated with a click track so that everything that they're doing is programmed and the whatnot, but as far as their effects go, everything that they have is all microscopic. It's like they have their own mix board that they route all their channels through. That allows you to kind of separate yourself from leaving it in someone else's hands. Because you know you can, you can have the best sounding rig in the world, and you can be a part of a great band, and you can be a great guitar player. But if the sound guy at the venue doesn't give a shit about you, or doesn't respect what you're doing, or maybe he's just lazy or doesn't care, you'll sound like shit, and then you sound like shit to 200 plus people.
Not even your fault. Yeah,
it's really it's super shitty, man, because that just makes you frustrated. We had to deal with a lot of that, but yeah, this most notable one was definitely on Saturday. I was so mad, and it wasn't just me; it was everybody else. Literally every other band that I played with, every guitar player was talking about the issues that they had. I was like, well, that makes me feel better, you know. At least I know I'm not a dick. But yeah. You have to get used to stuff like that. Venue owners are like that sometimes. They're stuck up. Sometimes security guys will bully you, mess around with you. It's just like you have to know when to fucking fold them and walk away and just say, listen, I'm just here to play my fucking guitar and do my job. You know?
Yeah.
like
know
whatever,
when to hold them.
You just talk to me like a piece of shit. That's fine. I'm going to be out of your hair in 2 hours. Like, just leave me alone. That shit kind of sucks. There is that facet to it, you know? But then that's why the fans are so great. Because then you'll have somebody treating you like dog shit. And then I'll go to the merch table and somebody will tell me like that I'm one of their favorite guitar players of modern metal or whatever. And it's just like, oh, yeah, you go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, what the fuck?
Makes it worth
it's
it in
just
the end. Putting up
a
with the
roller coaster of emotions. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's so unpredictable. And it's always, just talking about it is, you can talk about it forever. So, but that was our experience dealing with assholes, at least. That's just a little bit of it.
And me. I was there the whole time.
Yeah, that's not counting the like the crackheads and stuff that we dealt with and
don't even get me started, buddy.
Yeah, there's like a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a big learning moment, but it's always fun. Sure. It always comes back to being able to tell a story and
yeah, usually at the end of it, like it's always a good time.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, sound guys.
The sound guys are hard to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of the sound of a show ultimately comes down to the sound guy that is appointed by the venue, who is someone that we don't know.
Right.
It's someone that we meet at the venue, and will sort of dictate a lot of what the people hear. Because we have our rig, as you see behind me. I know a lot of people comment and say like, "Oh, Soup has a crackhead garage and he doesn't, there's a lot of shit in his garage and he can't clean his garage." But this is where we
use that shit every day. Yeah.
This garage is where we come together as a band, and we say like, when we rehearse our whole set, like we don't show up to a venue with no idea in mind. We don't really predict how it will go, but we have like a set sort of like, okay, we're gonna start our intro with this and have this go into this. We sort of have like a baseline idea of how things will operate. And sometimes sound guys, in their vast knowledge of audio engineering, will go in and add in effects that don't need added, or because as a band, we are a 3-piece band. I play bass, I do the vocals, Brady does all the guitar, he does the rhythm and lead, and our drummer Jacob Rigdon, he does all the drums. There is no underlying click. There's no underlying
raw
tracks. It's literally as raw.
I play a little harmonica. That's about it, though.
It's about as raw and real as a band can pretty much get. I mean, we don't. There's nothing in our set that isn't what we are doing
currently playing,
and that doesn't mean that we disrespect bands that have that. We don't care. We don't give a fuck what other bands do.
You just are what you are.
Proud that we don't.
Yeah, we don't care. Like if there's bands that have tracks and have underlying vocals or bass or some sort of effect, that's fine.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Whatever you need to do to achieve your own show is your own vibe.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. We don't care. But we are very much a band that is about as raw and gritty as you can get.
It's on brand.
We play live.
It's fitting.
Yeah. We get up there and we
brand.
play our parts. We do what we need to do, and there's no bullshit in a matter of the sound of everything. But sometimes sound guys will come in and try to
put their own spin on it or something.
Yeah, put their own sort of device, if you will, on what we do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Sometimes that can add to the sound. But for the majority of shows we've played, it takes away from me and Brady and Jacob being in the moment of up there on stage. It's like, what the fuck is the sound guy doing? Like sometimes, sometimes the sound
thought happens very frequently. What the fuck?
Also,
is the
when
sound
they
guy
turned
doing?
when they turned the lights off during WMD, like bro. One of the best songs live to hear, and they fucking turned the lights off.
Yeah,
it's
when
like
we were
dark
playing
on the
WMD,
stage.
all the lights just turned off in Jacksonville, and then they just kept them off until the song was over.
I'm trying to get a video, and it's just like, dude, it looks like your screen right now. It's just
Shit
like
that.
it's
Shit
just like,
that
all right,
is
I'm just
why-
gonna turn the fucking camera off then.
And I wouldn't say that we want to play bigger venues. I mean, obviously we do, but I'm already sick of these little fucking like tiny places that are not staffed by people that actually care about live music. That's the biggest deal, because the majority of the issue really stems from the fact that most of the venues that will let a metal band play there and actually, you know, have even rock music at their venue, most of them are usually smaller in size. And as a result, you know, they don't have budget to hire on 1 million people. They're going to hire whatever sound guy they can. And it results in a pretty shitty experience. And I'm already just tired of like having to deal with people that don't actually care about the job that they're doing, which sucks, because I know that if we were playing at a different level with bigger shows that we wouldn't have this issue. And it sucks to know that other people's laziness are affecting our outcome. Yeah. But it's just kind of one of those things that you have to move past, because there's not much we can do about it at this rate, you know? So it does kind of suck a little bit when you think about it that way. But we do everything within our power to make it sound good, and we rehearse like fucking crazy. All we do is practice.
Every week. Every week. It's like clockwork. I mean, our music that we play, it's not for the most part, a super intricate sort of thing, but we still want it to be.
It gets tough sometimes.
Yeah, we still want it to be as simple, I guess, as you could put it from a musical standpoint. We still want it to be as close to what we record in the studio as possible, without tracks and without a click. We're still we kind of pride ourselves on being the version that you hear on Spotify or YouTube or where Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you hear it. We want it to be pretty much as close to what you hear from a recording in the studio standpoint as what you hear live. I mean, yeah, there's obviously some crowd interaction and points where the crowd comes in and adds an element to what we're doing, but we want it to be like basically as close there as possible without it being, I guess, fake in a way, or sort of like it's not a realistic thing we can reach. Mm-hmm. You know, I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think. You go ahead, dude.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you people show up expecting to hear Mean It, how they heard it, and you deliver it. So,
yeah.
Doesn't sound artificial.
Yeah.
Which Mean It is so fun to play live, because if there's one song that all the kids know the words to, it's Mean It. And it's just like when they're shouting it back at you, it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that feeling of the crowd. And it really doesn't matter if it's one person. Like in Lake Worth, our last show in Florida was pretty.
It was a little tiny. Yeah.
Our last show that we played in Florida was definitely not what we, I guess, sort of expected, or not really expected, but it wasn't something that we, I guess, I don't know how to put my finger on it without sounding like an asshole, but it's not like our last show in Florida wasn't what we, I guess, hoped for in a way, which is fine. We don't care. We don't care if we're playing to nobody, or because we literally jam in my garage for friends. If friends come over and they're hanging out and they're like, hey, we want to hear some Slagjaw, it's like, we'll come out here and play. So it's fun regardless. But our last show in Florida was definitely on the like lower end of comparatively to the first two shows. Our first two shows were like here,
yeah,
And our last show was very much
just like a bit of an underwhelming finish compared to lower energy, lower crowd. Yeah,
lower energy, but that's fine. We will still bring the best that we can to those kind of shows, but we want to make it as authentic and as real as we can. You know, there's no larger than life sort of element to it. It's very much real. It's very much three guys playing music. If we play it here in my garage, if we play it in a parking lot in Augusta, Georgia, for free, you know, it's
just about the music, boy.
Real, it's as real as it can get, and we like that. We like it being real. We like our sound being real, and it's live, and it's three people expressing ourselves as best as we can. You know, we I don't know. We love it, and it's a love for music. It's a love for creativity, and it's a love for just being. We are. There's like a gratuity, I guess, if that's the word to it, that we are grateful that anybody, I mean, 10 people to 100 to whatever, we are grateful anyone will show up, and we are grateful for anything we can get, sort of thing.